The Tampa Bay Lightning take a 2-1 series lead in the 2020 Stanley Cup Final, and their captain, Steven Stamkos, was back. A storyline that somehow managed to be uplifting, heartbreaking, and confusing all at once. I'm Steve Dangle, this is what I look like standing up, and this is Cup Check. It almost felt like the game was secondary, didn't it? There were all kinds of fantastic stories heading into the 2020 Stanley Cup Final, and Joel Hanley gets his first NHL goal. Like, that was cool, right? But the intrigue, the will he or won't he of Steven Stamkos potentially entering this series hung over it. Like, here's how much of a factor it was. The Dallas Stars win game 1, right? They're up 1-0. They're 3 wins shy of a cup, right? Don Lucian from The Athletic actually, heading into game 2, had the Stars at under 50% chance to win the cup. Still, despite winning game 1. And when I asked, why? The answer was simple. Steven Stamkos, man, he might be back. I mean, how could it not be uplifting? The guy's the captain. He's been in this bubble despite not playing for over 2 months. Just for the chance to maybe get in a game, even if he can only play in 2 minutes and 47 seconds of it. But the intrigue with Steven Stamkos isn't just that he's the captain. The intrigue isn't just, well, he's been injured for this long. Is he even going to be good? In 57 games this season, he had 29 goals and 66 points. It's worth the shot. For context, he had 98 points the season before, and a 66 points in 57 games, that's a 95-point pace. Yeah, everything Steven Stamkos has been through, he's still that player. But I tweeted this last night, and it's ridiculous. In 2010, despite being in the middle of a breakout 51-goal season, Steven Stamkos was snubbed from the Canadian Olympic team. That jersey, by the way, right here, and I've told this story on the podcast before, it's the best commercial I've ever seen, and it never saw the light of day. Way back in the day when I was doing video blogs for Nike, you gotta shoot stuff like just in case. They didn't know whether or not he was gonna make the team. No one did. But I saw it and it was so good. It was emotional, and I teared up, and then he didn't make it. And he should have made it, and they won anyway. In 2011, the Tampa Bay Lightning make it all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final. He blocks a shot with his schnoz, comes back in the game with a cage on his face, and they lose anyway. And to the eventual Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins. Ouch. Then, Tampa toils for a few years. They miss the playoffs 2 seasons in a row. They make the playoffs and get swept by the Habs. But individually, Steven Stamkos is playing amazing. He is a star in the league. And he is a lock for the Sochi Olympic team. Hello, Marie-Philippe Poulin. He was a lock to wear this jersey, and he broke his leg! And then he holds a press conference mere weeks after, and he's walking around on it like, what are you, an alien? We genuinely thought, like, his bones might heal faster than regular bones. Is this guy gonna make the team? And he almost did. But he didn't. 2015, the Tampa Bay Lightning make it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, and they're a wagon. But by the time they get there, Ben Bishop is playing hurt. He's like Monty Python, it's just a flesh wound. Tyler Johnson, huge coming out party. He's the team's leading scorer. He's playing injured. And of course, Tampa loses in 6 for anybody who thinks that Tampa is happy right now being 2 wins shy of the cup. 2016, this one didn't even make the tweet because it was too long. There was the blood clot issue, but it's okay. He made it back in time to represent Team Canada at the 2016 World Cup of Hockey, fulfilling his childhood dream of playing for gold against Team Some of Europe. The good news about the 2016-17 season is Steven Stamkos was over a point a game, except he only played 17 games! Once again hurting his chances of making the Olympic team, and oh wait, never mind, it doesn't matter, they didn't go! 2018-19, he scores 98 points. The Tampa Bay Lightning are the first place team in the league. They win the President's Trophy, swept in round 1, and in 2020, the story's still unfolding. But all that mattered for this one is Steven Stamkos was in the lineup, and right away you could tell there was a weird energy about the game. In fact, I tweeted right before the first goal of the game, this is a mess. Definitely wasn't boring. Both teams looked incredibly sloppy. I thought the Lightning out of the gate looked far more sloppy than the Stars. I'm surprised the Stars didn't get one in the first 5 minutes. And then what happens? In the midst of all the chaos, Nikita Kucherov gets a breakaway, comes down on Anton Khudobin, scores. It's 1-0 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I'm watching and I'm like, yeah, of course. Okay, that makes sense. The Stars, they look like the better team. They have better chances out of the gate. They're the more aggressive team. Tampa catches them on a breakaway. It's 1-0. They're going to tie this up in no time, I thought. Well, I was part right. there was a goal right after. Within 90 seconds, Victor Hedman hits a guy doing a bunch of crossover. Who is that guy with the long flow and he looks like Thor? And oh my God, what has he done to Esa Lindell? Do you know how many times I watched a replay of that goal to make sure it was Lindell that Stamkos blew by? All I saw was a confused Blur wearing green. Stamkos flies in, top corner on Anton Hudobin, and is this a movie or what? And his line mates Patrick Maroon and Cedric Paquette banging him on the head. Oh, it's so great when the fourth line contributes, isn't it? And as I've been watching this series, I watched Dallas in game 1, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. I watched Tampa in game 2, yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. When Steven Stamkos made it 2-0, I'm like, yeah, I think the Lightning are going to win the cup. Now, obviously, it's not going to be that easy. Before the end of the first period, Jason Dickinson, with an incredibly opportunistic laser beam over Andrei Vasilevsky, cuts the lead to 1. But the momentum just seemed to cut through it of having Steven Stamkos in the lineup. Except he wasn't really in the lineup. The smiles and the laughter and the excitement, the adrenaline of the 2-0 goals seemed to kind of ebb away as Steven Stamkos played just 5 shifts and kind of had to go back to the room. And the second period was this waiting game, will he or won't he? And I've seen some criticism of the Tampa Bay Lightning and, oh, they brought him back too early and how could you jeopardize him? I don't think they bring back Steven Stamkos without being 100% sure he's ready to go. These guys have been isolated together for months on end. He's been working out with them. He's been skating with them every day, participating in drills, hard drills. What really did Steven Stamkos have to face during those 5 shifts, during that 2 minutes and 47 seconds, that he hadn't already been dealing with in practices and scrimmages? Until we know exactly what happened, I can't look at it as anything but just unfortunate. So while we're all writing the Dallas Stars off and all the Tampa Bay Lightning got this, the Stars got to be feeling good about themselves. Like, listen, we outshot them 16-8. Jason Dickinson got us on the board. The second period is ours. You thought. First of all, it's kind of hard to build on the goal that cut the lead to 1 when you take a penalty at the end of the first period that carries into the second. That's what Radulov did with Blake Coleman. First of all, epic battle behind the net. Look at this mess, but the puck squeaks loose. Anthony Cirelli, desperate effort just to get the puck to a teammate, and that Victor Hedman, that's a good one. That's a good choice. I would have made that choice there, Tony. Snipes his 10th of the playoffs. He's my Conn Smythe pick if Tampa wins it all, and it's 3-1 now at the beginning of the second. But okay, it's a 2-goal lead again. It's the beginning of the second. The Stars have score effects on their side. Surely they're about to turn the tide. Can you tell me if this looks bad? Yeah, I don't think this was part of Rick Bowness's plan, man. 3-on-1, Braden Point, snipe. It's a 4-1 lead, which we all know is just perfectly safe when you wear blue and white. And you know how I said the shots were 16-8 for the Stars in the first? After that, this shot to make it 4-1 made the shots 13-2 since. And what's wild is as the second period goes on, it just gets worse. It's a fire drill in the Dallas Stars zone. I'm surprised they didn't start playing the Harlem Globetrotters whistling over the speakers. Braden Point whacking at it, but Andre Palat whacked at it best. He makes it 5-1. Heading into the third. You look at the total shots in the game and you go 29-20, it's not that bad. Dude, 21-4 in the second and a 5-1 lead. Miro Heiskanen for a minute made me go, well, maybe, and he sort of made it interesting in the third, but nope. Lightning locked it up. Actually, in this one, it was the Tampa Bay Lightning kind of boring it up, parking the bus. There were only 7 shots total. It was 4-3 for the Stars, and you're not going to win a game like that unless you score on every shot, I guess. Math. And you know, the Stars tried to get something going. They tried to drag the Lightning through the mud. There were 14 penalties in the third period. It just didn't work. And now think of the wild card that we have in front of us. A, we have no idea if Steven Stamkos is going to play in game 4 or 5 or not. And 2, because of COVID, stupid COVID, it's back-to-back games for games 4 and 5. They play Friday and Saturday. Here's what that could mean. The Stars could win game 4 and tie it up. The Stars could win game 4 and 5 and put themselves within 1 win of the Cup. That would be on Monday in game 6. The Tampa Bay Lightning could win game 4 and win the Cup the next night. I'm making this video on Thursday. There could be a Stanley Cup champion in just over 48 hours. Tying that in with the Stamkos angle, if he can't even play 3 minutes in game 3, I find it hard to believe that he'd be able to play in both halves of this back-to-back. If you play him in the second half of the back-to-back, you get him an extra day to rest. But if this happens again, where he joins the game and he plays 3 minutes, now you got an already tired lineup who now has to pick up the slack with him out. Or you play him in game 4 on the Friday, and then potentially that happens anyway, and now you have an even more exhausted team for the second game in 2 nights. Or you could put him in a situation where he's going to be safer. You could put him just on the power play. The Lightning power play's been great. Why are you going to mess things up even if the guy you're adding is Stamkos? To me, the only way Stamkos being in the Lightning lineup makes any sense in game 4 or 5 is if you just confirm, he's going to be on the 4th line, and he's going to be playing 4th line minutes. There's not a chance he goes over 10. And you might say, well, look at how well they played with him even just hanging out on the bench and being a leader. No doubt that was a factor, absolutely. But does that adrenaline carry over to game 4 and 5? And are they going to have the adrenaline left? These back-to-back games are going to be such an incredible swing in the series because we saw what the Dallas Stars did to an incredibly tired Tampa Bay Lightning team in Game 1. And the Stars are this brutal combination of speed but also dragging you through quicksand and just beating you up. If the Stars win Game 4, it's not just a tied series for Tampa, it's a problem. Only the Tampa Bay Lightning know the answer to that. We don't know what's wrong with this guy. We don't know how he aggravated himself. We don't know anything. All I know is this. Buckle up. So that is it for this edition of Cup Check. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Brand new Steve Dangle podcast up on the Steve Dangle Podcast YouTube channel. And I'll see you after Game 4. God, this is going to be nuts.